Dana Abercrombie, the Koalition. Thank you for speaking with me. This was wonderful. So I loved it, was from Adria. I'm sorry. I hope I Adria. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
What I loved about your character is the connection that Martine has with Morbius. And it seems like you keep him grounded in his humanity. So can you talk about there's also a vulnerability about her as well. So can you talk about why that connection is so important also to the character of Martine? Why not just let him go?
I think that's Martine's biggest fear, is to let him go. I think she's carried the fear of letting him go for years. He has a deadly blood disorder, and, her biggest fear is that one day, if he doesn't find the cure, she's going to lose him. And is, I think, the main reason why she doesn't commit to having a relationship with him. I think that the both of them sort of step back because they don't want to hurt each other more, because they don't know how much time they have. And I think as a good friend, and to see someone endure so much pain through a disease, and being so desperate to cross that line, the morality line, to save himself and save, a little girl, and to save so many other little girls and boys, I think, she jumps and she goes, I'm going to help you. And she risks everything. She risks her career, her license, to really help him and to be a good friend. And she much rather, I think, do it with her than alone. What if something happens? I think Martine is incredibly protective over Michael Morbius. Hence, I think why with Milo, she's a little, has a little bad taste in her mouth sometimes with him. But yeah, I think that's her biggest fear. And she does what a good friend would do, what a very good friend would do. I think I can count with my hand the amount of people that I would do that for,
right?
If any. It's tough. It's really tough to sacrifice your whole life. But that's who Martine is.
Right. And for Daniel, what was the defining moment? I know that you're a huge comic book fan, but what was the defining moment for Morbius for you to say, this is a character who I would love to see on the big screen and I want to direct and bring it to the world?
I just think that the nature of the transformation of Morbius is really what sets him apart. I mean, in the comic book, Michael Morbius, when he does the test, or the experiment on himself, he kills all those people on the boat. But in the comic book, he also kills Nikos, which is his old doctor and colleague. And I thought that idea of doing a movie about a man who has to kill the closest person to him to be able to become himself is a very complicated, difficult story, and that really attracts me. Some people are attracted to broken relationships. I'm attracted to broken characters in movies.
Right. Makes sense. One of the things that I really loved about this, it seemed like you guys used a lot of practical effects. And instead of the prosthetics, you used visual effects for this. What was it like, one, for you, Adria, being an actress? What was it like to be in that environment? And also, Daniel, can you talk about that decision? Because that's rare.
Well, I'll tell you what, there was no special effects, but for example, in the scene that Michael Morbius transforms, that was equally as terrifying. I think Jared really took it there, and without a single prosthetic and only with black dots on his face, I felt like he was becoming a monster. So even though we didn't have, we didn't have it there tangible, everything else really was. Like the lab, I could open just about any drawer and everything was usable. My desk had, files. I would read the files. The computers would work. Everything was tangible for us to use as props or even to explore between takes. Same thing with the boat. It was really, it felt more realistic than I think, I felt like a different kind of movie. And when I watched it, then it becomes a completely different movie. As me, I love the experience of watching the second version, which is the special effects version, but I definitely felt it. I very much felt it. The same thing with Milo too.
No, but I mean, I always been like a very strong believer in that the environments affect the character
Oh, yeah.
of who you are, and you know, if you are in a big room or a small room, or you know, it affects how you feel about yourself. You know how it is to walk through a very big door. You feel really small and unimportant. You know, and I think that the notion that some people have now, that they put actors into this green screen rooms, you know, where they're in nothing, it's very hard, and for the actor, and I think that something is lost. I mean, we all know that's been done masterpieces with green screen, but they are also master directors. I need the crutch. I need the, you know, I
No,
need
that's not
environment.
true.
Okay,
I
thank
disagree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.